We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2135. Today, Jill and I are talking about the value of accountability groups for scaling your land business. This is a popular topic.
I need this stuff. I'll explain more in a minute, but you know me. Maybe that's part of our personality, especially since this is Feelings and Opinions Week. I feel you like to be more of a loner than in a group. And my opinion is you work better that way. I can understand, but I like the group part, and I'll explain why in a few minutes.
This is not about me. It never really is. But in 8th grade, I took the personality test like everyone hopefully takes in this country to find out what you might be set up for to do with your life professionally. And I was going to be one of two things: a farmer or a medical research person.
Oh, very interesting. How do you remember that?
Because I'm neither one of those things, and I wish I was.
I don't remember that. All I remember is like every girl, I loved horses and I wanted to be a vet. That was the stupidest thing.
I can remember even the teacher who did that. I think it was a homeroom or something, but he was a pretty funny guy anyway. He just looked at me as like, because that's what it all came out. Oh, you want to be a cop? Oh, you want to be a firefighter? Yeah. You want to be a farmer and a research person? Yep, that makes sense for you. Thanks, Steve. See you back there.
Everybody's got like a uniform and cool, and you're the weirdo in the back, like I'm gonna work in a lab.
Yeah, I was the weirdo in the back. You nailed it.
That's awesome.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum and take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request.
Okay. Ian wrote, so I'm about to go through and price my first mailer. I found that zip to zip, there's quite a bit of difference in the county because some being in town and others being around features like lakes. In general, though, the price within the zip codes is fairly consistent. That's cool. My issue is with the fact that the data tree export data I'm going through, I'm going to use my first data set of 971 properties, is missing about 35% of the cited zip codes, and about 20% of the cited zip codes don't match what spits back from Google Maps based on the GPS coordinates. And then only about 45% were listed incorrect. I even have a few where the GPS county and the cited zip are different. GPS county and Citus county are different. Number one, is this fairly common for the Citus data to be different from the GPS data? And then question number two, do you use the GPS data or the Citus data given in data tree for your pricing?
Ian, this is a very intelligent question, and I'm glad you asked it. I chose it so I can share this with everybody. You're going to do really well at this. Here's the deal. Most pieces of vacant land do not have a mailing address. Why? Because no one's ever requested it from the post office because they don't need to get mail there. So what you have when you look at it from a database standpoint is a bunch of pieces of property that have no mailing address. So how do you know what zip code they're in? Fortunately for us, DataTree, as a data aggregator, provides GPS coordinates for each piece of property to the point where their entire database, all 15 million records, it's like 99.9% of the records are filled in with GPS coordinates. So our job, before we go price a mailer, is to convert those GPS coordinates to zip codes. We use a tool called geocode.io. It's geocode.io. And it very quickly and very efficiently converts those the GPS coordinates to a zip code for you. And it even tells you how accurate their suggestion is.
It's pretty cool when it does that.
It's super cool.
It's neat. I've watched over your shoulder as you run through that. And it's like it says rooftop or percent. I'm like, wow, it found it. That's
so really your questions cool. Are that's if you watch chapter 3 and 4 in Land Academy 3.0, which are my chapters, not Jill's. I go through this process in demo format really very, very in great detail. Your question is, number one, is it fairly common for this to happen? It is absolutely common. 95% of the properties that we regularly send mail to don't have a zip code associated with them. So we implement what I just said. Number two, to use GPS data or situs data. And given in data tree, we use the GPS data out of necessity. The vast majority of properties won't have an address. So this is really effective. I have 10 years of doing this, and we have done it this way for years.
I'm going to add too, for Land Academy members, that we discussed before this show, we're going to do an advanced training on this. Every month, everybody's like, what are you talking about? Well, within Land Academy, of course, we have our whole detailed program and everything's in there, but sometimes you need a little more clarification or practice or examples on how to use tools like geocode.io and how we're getting these addresses so we could better price the properties. Yeah. So Jack has already agreed to do an advanced training coming up here. So watch for that, Ian, and members, and that's going to be really cool. And then, of course, like for all you Land Academy members, it'll all be recorded and put on your member dashboard. We're building quite a library of all these advanced training modules for you, so that it'll be there for you to go back and refer to over and over and over again.
Today's topic, the value of accountability groups for scaling your business. Before we get started, let's do a simple definition here of scaling. Perfect. There's two ways to grow your business, in my opinion: scaling and repeatability. So if you think about McDonald's, their business model was, Ray Kroc, after understanding McDonald's brothers' business model, built one that he thought would be more efficient. It worked, and he repeated it. And then he repeated it and repeated it over and over again. That's repeatable and is very effective for some business model types. Same with Walmart, and same with buying a house and renting it out. It's repeatable. Scalable, here's an example of scalable, is writing a book. You write the book one time. And if it sells well, you sell 10 or 20,000 copies, or if it sells really well, you sell millions of copies. But you only ever wrote it one time. That's scalable. It becomes at that point how capable you are of marketing, or if your product's great. Did you write a great book? Did you do the book tour? Do people like you? It's all of that. It's not necessarily about the product itself. Another great example is software and applications. Bill Gates released Windows. I don't know when it was in the 70s, I think the 80s maybe. Individual products first and then it just became a marketing scenario and making sure that you can sell millions and millions of copies of software instead of 4. And so that's scalable. What we do, in my opinion, is repeatable. And so Joe and I talked about this before we sat down. A great example of what we do is, I saw an interview with Steven Spielberg a lot of years ago, and he said on the ET set that he finally found all the people that he still uses today in his group to make a movie. And so it's not so much, you're not starting from zero in every real estate deal, or in his case, in every movie. You still are working with all the same people. The script's different. There's different stuff you have to address, just like in every real estate deal. But it's the same group of people that bring all this past experience and how they all work together and all of that knowledge. So that's really what we are. You need some accountability to repeat land real estate deals
and learn that. Yeah. How another way, that example is how we do our business in a repeatable way is, I have a little team in Tennessee. I have a team in Colorado. I have a team in Utah, fill in the blank state. And that's usually the same escrow crew, usually the same brokers who I'll get some opinions from, and they'll sell the property. And then of course it's the same county people. We get to know each other, and that's your team. And then it makes it repeatable and faster and easier every time. I've got a 5-acre coming in this county. We all know what to do. Just do it again. Mm-hmm.
Repeatable.
That's it. I was going to add a couple things about accountability groups, though. Now that we got the definitions down, and we're really talking about, it's really about the value of being in a community, in a group. And I have 2 points I want to make here today. One is, for me, I wrote down, peer pressure. Peer pressure holds not all of us. Jack puts a single finger up to peer pressure. But for me, I need it. For me, I need to be held accountable. A perfect example for me is going to the dumb gym. I don't care how pretty my home gym might be or how wonderful it is and the latest and greatest toys. I'm not going to use it. I need peer pressure. I need to get up, go get in my car, drive to the gym, and stand with people staring at me going, oh, you're on time. Good. That's accountability for me. I won't do it without that. And that's a beautiful thing with our groups and it happens. It could happen. I do it in coaching. Coaching's a good one. Right now I do one-on-one, we do one-on-one personal coaching.
Coaching is really effective for accountability.
And I thought about it yesterday as I was wrapping up one of the sessions. The guy even said, what's my homework? I didn't even get to it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. He's pushing himself, asking me what's my homework. I said, all right, if you want to push yourself, take it all the way to this point. If you don't want to push yourself too hard, get to this. You have 2 levels, A and B, and we'll finish that last thing up when we meet. When we meet again in 2 weeks, we pretty much, it's every other week that we do one-on-ones. So that was awesome. Hold himself accountable. We also have groups that get together within Land Academy and hold each other accountable. Like, did you get your mailer out? Well, what the heck is going on? I'm not calling them back. Well, why are you not calling them back? Why are you not buying this thing? That you need that sometimes. The second thing I want to say,
Jill is my peer pressure.
I am your peer pressure.
You're in my density.
What the hell does that mean?
It's from Back to the Future.
Oh.
He means destiny. You're my destiny. And he says, you're my density.
I missed that one.
You're my density.
That's very good. That's good. That's reaching. All right. So the second thing I was going to say about the value of accountability groups is how much faster you're going to learn in a group environment versus on your own. You're going to make your own mistakes. And it's going to take you 10 times longer than being in the room with 10 people making those mistakes and you all share with each other. That's really, really valuable and powerful. Everybody comes together with like, oh, here's a good thing that I learned this week. And here's something I screwed up, so you don't do this. And that's even when we started Land Academy, that was, I'm sure, a lot of it. Mm-hmm. People came in because we had, you coming into Land Academy this is now year 10 of Land Academy. You already had 2 decades of mistakes to share with everybody.
Thanks, Jill.
You're welcome.
2 decades of making mistakes.
Exactly. Isn't that great? And now it's 3 decades of mistakes.
30 years of screwing
Can you
stuff
imagine
up.
how great is that? So just coming into Land Academy, you got 3 decades of stuff we screwed up to save you. But that's the truth.
It's a good thing we saved a little money.
That was really early on when I was talking about Land Academy. Like even right now today. Hey, I'm listening to your show, Jill. We listen to your podcast religiously. I can do this all on my own. Great. Go for it. Yep. You could do 10 years to catch up with me doing it all on your own, just listening to the show. Or you could join Land Academy and cut your 10 years into 10 months and then really be on your way. Like, that makes sense. Yeah.
Everybody needs a different level of accountability. Yeah. And you have to decide what really works for you. Mm-hmm. I do not need a high level of accountability. I do not need a social group to go to at a gym.
True.
So every time I hear peer pressure, the first thing that comes to my mind is, are you the causer of the peer pressure or the recipient of peer pressure? So I'll ask you, listener, to think about that. If you're the causer of peer pressure, you probably don't need it.
Well, let's go back. Don't be mean girls. That's not what we're talking about here. It's healthy pressure from a group of your peers who are hoping to motivate you to rise up.
Yes, that's what it is. That's a perfect definition.
That's it. That's how I define peer pressure.
Translate it to whatever that means for you. That's perfect. Mic drop there.
This is not hazing.
Really? You hazed the gym at all? Ever?
No, I don't get hazed. You should never be hazed. It should be healthy peer pressure. Think of it like that. This is good. All right. Join us tomorrow where we discuss how the Land Academy CRM can help you streamline your deals.
You're not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.